Oh.
Our scientists have done things which nobody's ever done before.
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
So for those who have stuck around with me and my content, you'll know that one of the biggest videos I made was when I created a review covering Bluey animations on YouTube, including the many poorly made and inappropriate kids videos that had completely taken over the site. And while thankfully most of these channels have been taken down, that was far from the end of weird kids content related to the show. Because while the awful Bluey animations themselves have long died, their spirit had not, and if anything, had just evolved into a new plane of existence, one that takes many forms and crosses many mediums, but all still exists under one giant, infamous category, which is of course, the brain rot. Now, contrary to what many believe, the concept of brain rot, or simply just nonsensical, mass-produced videos with little substance, is far from a new idea, and has arguably been around in some form for decades, but as of recently, it has particularly gotten a lot of attention, much thanks to the continued rise of mass-produced YouTube content, especially for those aimed at younger viewers. And of course, being the media juggernaut it is, Bluey is, unfortunately, far from the exception. Because while the official show itself continues to stand as quality entertainment for kids and families alike, the content posted by random people on YouTube really varies in quality. And today, we'll be taking another look at some of the less than stellar examples. And in general, just seeing how bad or just downright unusual some of the recent stuff has gotten, mainly to bring awareness to what's going on here, and to show how weird this stuff can get, but also just because, in all honesty, I gotta admit it's just kind of hilarious. As some of these videos and thumbnails are so cursed.
Guys are gonna smell my farts later.
But without further ado, sit back and relax, because we got a wild ride ahead. So let's begin.
I know I've been married a long time ago.
So before we get into some completely new stuff, I think it's best to begin with a familiar concept, something to help us springboard into today's topic. And it's of course our good old friend, the Bluey animation. Or at least, something vaguely resembling it. Now, as mentioned in my last video dedicated to these, there were actually plenty of good fan-made animations about Bluey, and many of these do have genuine heart, effort, or just good old humor put into them, but on the flip side, there's also many that, well, do not. And that's what we ended up discussing in that last video, including a few really strange ones.
Let's twerk! Yeah, let's twerk!
You what?
And for those who've been wanting more of that, or just like seeing me suffer for their sick kicks, I do in fact have more. And it's all thanks to this one channel I found, Pony Stories TV. Now, from the banner and channel name alone, it looks pretty innocent. You know, there's just a pic of Bluey and some figures. What's wrong with that? And to that, I say to look. Look at these thumbnails! I mean, where do I even start with this? Right off the bat, I see pictures of Bluey being inflated like it's DeviantArt up in here, Bluey being neglected multiple times, Bluey losing her pants in the pool? And of course, the good old classic, Bluey being fat and pregnant. Yeah, it's gonna be one of those days, isn't it? And just as a bonus, they even included some form of crossover with what I think is supposed to be Kane from the Amazing Digital Circus? So I guess we're really just ticking off all the boxes from our brain rot bingo here, aren't we? In fact, with this in mind, I decided to quickly make an actual bingo for these channels, and well, would you look at that, we already got a winner. Congrats. But enough goofing around. Watching the actual videos, I began with a deep, emotional thriller, Abandoned at Birth. surprise birthday party, pretend play with Bluey paper toys. And as it turns out, these videos aren't technically cartoons or animations really. They're actually more like still paper cutouts just being moved around by, I guess, tweezers or something. Which now seems to be kind of popular with these recent Bluey videos, and I assume probably way cheaper and easier to make. I mean, since this is basically stuff for babies, I'm sure they'll probably find it entertaining as long as there's any movement whatsoever, and like a billion cartoon stock sound effects. But for what it is, I guess it could have been a whole lot worse. And regarding the plot, Bingo is basically hyped because it's her birthday, but then she gets sad because, oh no, nobody seems to care or remember. Also, this happens. But big surprise! They were setting up for a surprise party. Bingo is happy, and yeah, everyone lived happily ever after. Not really sure what that had to do with being abandoned at birth, but I probably just missed it somewhere in this 48-minute long video. Although, with that said, the rest of it is what I assume are just existing episodes, compiled together to increase the runtime, which is also something a lot of these kids channels do because, once again, it saves on time and most really young kids probably won't care too much anyways. Although I should note that at the end of this compilation, there is a scene where this happens. Okay then, and moving on, I could probably review these videos all day, but for the sake of my sanity, we'll just do one more. Let's see, let's do the one with the, bingo toilet. Skibbity bingo, if you will. Jeez, I feel like I should be publicly executed just for saying that. This episode is basically about the family going to the playground, and Bluey goes full Taco Bell mode on the slide and paints it brown. But oh phew, it was just a dream, and Bluey learns that she should never hold it in. Which I guess isn't a terrible message, and holding it in is actually pretty unhealthy from what I've heard, so props for that, I suppose? Also, as you could probably tell already, this one doesn't even use paper cutouts and just uses Bluey figures for the skit. As in like, the figures you can just buy from Target and stuff. But it does, oddly enough, have voice acting, which is something that I haven't seen in these videos until now. And curiously enough, I think it's a mix of just the creators doing the lines, and also AI voices of the actual characters, but I'm not 100% sure.
You don't need to lose weight yet, okay? If you finish your meal today, I'll drive you and Bingo to the park.
Also, for anyone who's wondering, I don't think the crime against humanity known as the running bingo toilet actually has to do with anything that happens here. So unless some wretched soul watches the whole video and proves me wrong, I'm gonna assume it was probably just clickbait. Although with that said, I'm not really sure if I wanted to see a bingo toilet anyways. I'll stick with my bingo chair. Thank you very much. And with that, moving on to other channels, I found this one, which has the creative title Bluey and Friends. Although from the looks of it, it seems to basically have all of the exact same videos? So I assume it's probably just a backup or secondary channel for the first one we found, which from what I've seen is also a pretty common practice, as a lot of these people just run tons of channels with the same content to, you guessed it, get more views. But outside of all of these really weird thumbnails, most of these videos honestly seem to be pretty tame compared to the other stuff I've seen. I was looking through YouTube just to see what I could find this time, and most of it is either fan-made animations that are too good to be considered brain rot, or simply just toy videos using the figures. But then, I found it. I stumbled across something that was huge, and very, very weird, which is the genre of Bluey Roblox videos. As far as I know, these basically just have characters meant to resemble Bluey or Bingo play various games on Roblox. But the one I happened to watch just had some blue guy with a high-pitched voice, and just had drawings of the characters' expressions added later. Kinda like what I'm doing, but you know.
Without the Alvin and the Chipmunks voice.
Or the super cursed thumbnails. Okay, well, most of the thumbnails anyways. And speaking of these thumbnails, can we take a moment to just admire some of these? Because these thumbnails are so weird that I don't think we can just consider it standard clickbait. This is like straight up contemporary surrealist art or something. It's just so weird and bizarre that it's actually interesting. And of course, the titles are equally strange and broken to boot, with such classics as Bluey is the biggest snake in Roblox, Roblox Juice Blender, My New Pooh House, Pooh's Revenge Chapter 2. Will she survive? Saving Poolina from evil Pooh. Bluey is 1000% buff in Roblox. Bluey can't stop failing. Do not trust Pooh at 3 AM. Roblox eat me? Roblox house arrest. Bluey's mom found out. Bluey and Bingo escape evil Mickey Mouse prison. Bluey can't stop dying. What? But of course, last but not least, there's also the magnum opus, Roblox Escape Fartman Prison with Bluey and Bingo, which is truly a cinematic masterpiece. Like, this is the stuff Steven Spielberg and Stanley Kubrick wished they could make. Definitely one of the videos of all time.
Extra stinky.
However, regarding what these videos actually entail, against my better judgment, I decided to watch one of them, which I can assure you was not an easy choice to make. Although I eventually went with the one where Bluey gets buff, mainly just to see how cursed it actually was. And after watching the entire thing from beginning to end, I can say for sure that this was 20 long minutes I'm never getting back. And yes, that's how long it actually is. And some are even longer. Heck, some of them are literally 3 hours long. I wish I was kidding. But regarding the video itself, it's honestly not too much. It's basically just gameplay footage of some blue guy. He does something at the gym, Bluey makes a comment about it, Bingo teases her, the blue guy exercises some more, rinse and repeat 20 more times, and just like that, you got hundreds of thousands of views and over 300k subscribers. No offense to the guy who made this, as he's just banking on the successful system, but how did we let this happen as a society? Because I mean, I'm not even mad or jealous at this point. I'm just flabbergasted. But hey, maybe that's just me being an old, ancient zoomer. And I guess this is what kids like, so let them have their fun, I guess.
I have got to get a bigger butt today.
I'm sorry, you what? Also, for anyone wondering, I pulled up the Brain Rot Bingo for this channel, and somehow this one didn't win, but it's got more than a few of the hallmarks. And speaking of the channel, this particular one I found is called Puppy Buddies, which also seems to own another channel called More Puppy Buddies. And interestingly, they actually put a disclaimer in their description, which argues that their videos are completely fair use of the Bluey characters, as their content is intended to be a quote-unquote parody of the show. And of course, I'm not a lawyer or legal expert, but I feel like this excuse or definition is a little bit iffy, because overall, most of the content doesn't seem to actually parody the show directly, as in making fun of, commenting, or directly transforming it in any meaningful way, and instead, just seems to use the characters because they're popular, and throws them in various random situations that really have nothing to do with or have anything to say about the actual franchise. Although I guess you could argue that it might be a parody, since they directly transform the characters literally. But other than that, I'm not entirely sure if this would hold up if the BBC took any major action. Although with that said, the channel has been pretty popular and stayed up for a while, so maybe they do actually have a point. And outside of that, there are actually more channels that produce similar content, including this one called Sweep, which, looking at it, seems to have nearly the exact same layout and setup as the other channels, which makes me think that they could all be related, or that it's gotten to the point where all of these creators are just completely ripping each other off, neither of which would honestly surprise me. Alright, so quick update here. While I was editing the video, I found a couple interesting things. First off, I went to go check the channel I just went over, Puppy Buddies, to, get more screenshots of it. And as it turns out, all of the videos are now gone? Not really sure what happened to them, but I assume that they probably did in fact get taken down for copyright, at least if I had to guess. Which is ironic considering what I literally just mentioned, although their second channel seems fine. For now. And in fact, even the Pony Stories TV channel also removed their videos or got them taken down too. Which is funny because this is the exact same thing that also happened in my last video, where the channels I discussed got taken down in the middle of editing. So maybe I'm just cursed or something. And on top of that, I also decided to watch a video from that Sweep channel, and watching it, it does seem to have some differences in the voice acting and drawings, so I want to say it's a different creator. And interestingly enough, they do list Puppy Buddies as one of their favorite YouTubers in their description, which makes me think that they're simply just heavily inspired by them, so there's that. Anyways though, update over. Back to the main video. Oh boy. But with all that said and done, we have one more channel to cover. And this time, it actually features something we've all seen before.
Hey, I've seen this one. This is a classic.
Because as I mentioned earlier, most of the fake Bluey animations have been taken down, and all that's left are videos using figures or Roblox. But I have seen recent posts about them still being around, so I went to search it up and it doesn't look like they're still there. So woohoo! That means I don't have to review them. Thank you, Lord Bandit! Oh, what's this? A link for a video? Well, this better not be a Rickroll. What even is that? Oh no. Oh no! You gotta be kidding me! They still have these? And it's got over 300,000 views? Of Chili and Wendy going to the pregnancy shredder? What is this even about? Okay, well, let's just get this one over with. So, yeah. While most of these videos are gone, there are still a few survivors lurking around. And apart from the one I just showed, a lot of them don't even have that many views. Which I suspect is because they're probably just recent re-uploads, and whenever they do get views, they get noticed and taken down of course, but then re-uploaded again with another channel and so forth, keeping this chaotic cycle going. And on the channel these videos got uploaded to, it doesn't even have that many subscribers, and most of the videos just seem to be other brain rot unrelated to Bluey, which makes me assume that this was probably a channel that was originally meant for uploading other stuff, and that the creators just re-uploaded the Bluey stuff on here to boost viewership. However, for the actual Bluey animations, they are nearly identical to the stuff we've seen before, with even the exact same drawing style.
Stop it. Get some help.
And regarding the plot, if you can even call it that, it's basically about Chili, Bella, and I think Wendy getting together because they're all pregnant, of course they are, and during their meetup, they get cotton candy from Snickers' mom, who is, admittedly, doing a horrible job at keeping her evil plan a secret. What was that laugh in the background? Was that even supposed to be in the video? But anyways, oh no! The cotton candy was laced with something, and they all faint. And one SpongeBob time card later, they wake up, and uh-oh, they're all on a conveyor belt, heading straight towards the, whatever this thing is supposed to be. But unfortunately, they don't die, so the video continues, with Wendy holding on for dear life, Chili escaping by farting away into the air, and Bella somehow escaping off camera, unplugging the machine, which is then followed by Snickers' mom escaping by putting a propeller under her head, which she then uses to leave until she gets caught by a net and arrested by Uncle Stripe. And after that, the characters all share a laugh and the episode instantly ends. Like, it just directly cuts into the next episode with zero warning. Which in itself seems to be about baby Bluey also getting kidnapped by Uncle Stripe? So I guess the dude is just playing both sides. Also, I think Bingo turns evil or something, and Bandit has to fight both of them off? Sure, why the heck not? And yeah, I could keep going on, but we saw how this works in the last video, you saw it in this one, I'm about to lose my mind, and yeah, I think that's enough for one day. So in regards to all of the content we saw today, what did we learn? Well, I guess we learned that holding in your Taco Bell isn't good, that consuming fried chicken and body-altering substances will make you big and strong, and that, of course, at the end of the day, no matter how much hard work you do, and how much genuine heart you put into your craft, you'll probably just get overshadowed by people who make way more mass-produced, low-effort products. Because we truly live in a society. Once again, for those who make these types of videos or even enjoy them, no hate towards any of you. People can make almost whatever they want and enjoy whatever they want, but I'ma be honest, I don't have the slightest clue what y'all were getting up to, and I sure as heck don't know how it's working. But good on y'all, I guess. I think my soul just left my body from all this. But with that said, my name's Hideaki, and I gotta go find something healthier to obsess over. Until next time, I'll see you all soon, and goodbye! So for today's art of the day, we have something that's definitely not brain rot, and it's this amazing drawing by Hannah by Henke. I didn't find this one until recently, but I thought it was really well done, and one of the more unique pieces I've gotten, so thank you very much.